everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Latinas Power Talk. I am your host, Kenya Vasquez. Thank you for joining me another week, amigas. I see you guys tuning in. I see you guys supporting. I love it. I hope you're crushing your goals this week. Whatever you have up here, bring it into fruition. Talk it into existence. I believe in you. Today, we have a very special guest. I have been hearing about this coffee shop for probably since it opened. Good. So I am super excited to be here at House of Honey here in Peoria with Leslie Gonzalez.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, good. Happy to be here.
Thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for allowing us to come and show everyone your new coffee house, which has been up and running for 4 months.
4 months now.
4 months.
Yes.
I know. I texted you and we actually had a phone conversation. The amount of people that were like, have you been to House of Honey? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And I had been wanting to come. And when I went on your website and I was like looking more into you guys, I was like, you guys are from Jalisco.
Yes.
Okay.
You're from Jalisco too, right?
My family's from Jalisco,
What
yes.
part?
Guadalajara.
Okay.
So my mom's from Guadalajara, the city. And then my dad is from Tecalitlan, which is just a small rancho. But yeah, we're Jalicenses. Sangre tapatía. Yes. What part are you guys from?
From Tepa. So we're in like Los Altos.
Tepa?
Yes.
Teca?
Yes.
Yes.
We have a connection.
Yes, we do.
Alteñita over here, Jalisciense, very proud of it too.
I mean, look at our eyes, right?
Dicen que las mujeres más bonitas. I don't know.
I mean, you guys be the judge.
Tell us or don't.
Thank you so much for having us here. I am so, so proud of you. I know we were talking before we started recording. You're 26.
Yes.
26 years old, and you've been having this coffee shop for 4 months. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
I'm sure it was a lot of work.
A lot of work. Long time of work. Long time coming. But we're here, and we're happy to be here, and we're blessed to be here for sure.
Amen.
Yes.
When I was on your website, I love that your website really highlights the story of your family, your family business. So you guys, like I said, are from Jalisco.
Yes.
But you guys moved to Arizona to pursue the bee business.
Yeah, beekeeping.
Beekeeping.
Yep.
So I think it was your dad, right?
Yeah. So in 2007, we moved here.
So were you born in Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah. Girl, your English is good.
Thank you, girl. I moved here when I was 10.
Nice.
And my dad had a brake shop in Mexico, totally different. And my grandpa on my mom's side, both of my parents, they both come from agriculture, so like cattle farmers. My grandpa on my dad's side is big cattle farmer, milking, like rancho vibes for real. Like
I love
that's
rancho
how
vibes.
I grew up.
Yes.
I grew up like in el rancho with the cows outside of the fence, like
that farm
chewing on our
lifestyle,
socks if like we left la ropa tendida, like the whole thing.
Okay.
And then my mom's side, same thing. He did like farming, like rancho life, and he would do beekeeping as a hobby. And he would taught my dad. So my dad did it as a hobby. He had a few hives. Then my dad's siblings started slowly moving to the States, and my dad would come visit and everything. He ended up meeting somebody, and he sold him like a part of the business.
Oh,
and
wow.
Very risky, like didn't know, too much about it. And he's very hardworking and brave and all the things. And we moved here in 2007, and he started pursuing it.
That is like, first of all, my hat's off to you because your English is like really, really impeccable. Like,
Thank
wow.
you,
like, it's hard to learn a language.
Yeah.
It's super hard.
Yeah.
And even at 10 years, I feel like we're little, but we're not that young. Where it's still like even harder. I feel like when you're like a toddler, you're a sponge. You pick it up así de volada. You know what I mean?
I feel like I had the hardest time out of all my siblings. We're 4. So I'm the oldest of 4.
Okay.
And like when we got here, it was like the 4th grade. It's not like little kid stuff anymore.
It's not kindergarten.
Yeah. So it was hard. It was definitely hard. And I grew up in Surprise, where there was no Mexican kids at the time. Well, there was, there was, but there wasn't. So it was.
And that was
it
2007. So we didn't have everything that Arizona is. Like, it was very different.
It was very different.
We moved in 2005 from California.
Okay.
So, yeah, around the same time where there was, like, a lot of cotton fields still, a lot of just, like, there weren't as many houses or much things to do. So, yeah, definitely can relate to that. But, wow. Like, what a story. Like, to just pick up your family and say, we're not only moving states, but we're moving to a whole new country.
100%. And it's crazy because if you think about it, well, I think about it, my mom was 30. My dad was like 32. They were young. I can't imagine having 4 kids to support like a whole family and literally driving to the United States and like starting a family. And you don't realize that until you're older. Like I didn't realize that sacrifice until now, you know, as an adult.
Until now that it's like our time to kind of like go through certain sacrifices and obstacles in life. You're like, oh shit, how did our parents do it?
100%.
I know, I'm 27 and I'm like, by my age, my parents already had us, like my sister and I, you know, I'm like, I don't have any kids,
No, me neither.
like, you know, and I'm like, I can't even imagine like how life is already hard. I can't even imagine having like little babies to depend on you, you know, but I think it's so beautiful that you guys have built this business and you have 4 siblings.
4 siblings.
And I feel like each one has kind of like branched out on their own.
Yeah.
Still kind of like within the foundation that your dad set, which we have pictures back here of like your family business. And is that your dad back there?
Yes, that's my dad.
That's your dad.
Cheesing
and
it.
I think it's just like beautiful to see how you guys, like I said, have just like branched out and continued the family business in your own ways.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about House of Honey and how this idea just came into fruition. Like, have you always wanted to do a coffee shop? Like, where did the idea come from?
Not at all. I was always in the beauty industry by trade. I started doing makeup like really young and was doing like weddings and freelancing since high school. And then I became an esthetician and I opened up my own like suite where I did lashes for 7 years. So I opened that business up when I was 18, ran it to its course. You know, it was a good business, built up my clientele, whatever. And then it had to have been about 1.5 years ago. My dad came to me and was like, I would like you to be part of like the honey. You know what I mean? Like he does the bees and he wanted somebody to do the honey, to take that
and distribute
road.
it? Kind of like the distribution of it?
Exactly, yeah. So because the bee business is so intricate and particular and like hard, they're out in the field every single day. He has a big crew. He's one of the biggest beekeepers in Arizona right now with like 8,000 hives. So it's a monster within itself. They take the hives up to California, bring them back to Parker, to North Dakota. So
you take the actual hives?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't leave much time for like packaging, distribution, sales, all that stuff of the honey. So prior to this, he was just wholesaling the honey. And it came to a point where like I'm older, you know, and it was just a good way to get into it. And he approached me with the idea of like not partnering up, but having me kind of like run that course. And we thought of an idea of, you know, a low risk business that is a good idea and it's trendy and you can make work, where you have a hub in a city to where maybe instead of going to a grocery store to pick up honey, you think, oh, there's like a cute little coffee shop in my city that I can pick up honey from local beekeepers. So that's where the idea came to be. And I hope that it grows into a coffee shop in every city that, you know, if you're in Scottsdale, then I can pick one up. If you're in wherever you are, you know, you have one of us near you.
House of Honey everywhere.
A House of Honey everywhere.
I love
to pick
that.
it up, yeah. And we really believe in the product, you know, that we have, and we just want to share it. And
you guys put your heart into it. Like
we really do.
I was doing my research leading up to this podcast, and I really saw that you guys really put your heart into what you guys do. Like it's not just a business. This is your guys' kind of like legacy.
100%.
Right? That your dad started, and now it's like branching out into every kid that he has in its own ways. But
I like that you say legacy. I feel like that's exactly what this was. It's just like another way to grow it, to have the next generations have a part of it too, you know?
Yeah.
Not only in beekeeping, because my brothers took a part of that labor, because it's like hard labor, but also into something that can be a powerhouse to like have other generations, our kids, profit from it too and like get into it too, you know? Not always having to be out in the field in order to continue the legacy that this is.
Do you think this like, okay, let's rewind back to 2007. Your dad probably would have never thought that it would have got into this big monster, like you said that it is, of just like, it's super big. And thank God, like, gracias a Dios, like, you know what I mean? He took a risk of
100%.
moving his whole family over here, but it paid out.
It paid out. Honestly, he's the hardest working person I've ever known. Like, if there's one person that knows the value of hard work, it's my dad. And he instilled that in us from like a very, very, very young age.
And you're the oldest, so you
I'm the
probably
oldest.
saw it more firsthand,
Yeah.
especially like at the age that you were at,
Yeah.
10 years old, moving over here, like you were more aware of things than probably your siblings were
Yes.
because they were much younger.
Yeah.
And worried about just not as worried as you were of like, are my parents okay?
Yeah.
And I think like being the oldest, we always have that. I'm the oldest too.
Okay, good. You
Yes,
relate,
I'm the oldest too, so I can relate of just like, como que te cargan más responsabilidades
No,
as the
100%.
oldest, and you also take on that kind of like parent mentality for your siblings as well. Is
Yeah.
everyone okay? Like kind of being a caregiver, I guess,
Yeah.
in a way, right?
And you know, at that point, we each had a role to play. My parents, you know, my dad would go work in the hives in the heat of the summer, like out in the field early, and my mom really was like a homemaker, but also like she took on the responsibilities too. When it was extracting season, when it was like time to get the honey out of the hives, she was out there too, you know?
Yeah.
All the things. So then a mí me tocaba like cuidar los niños, like help out in the summers. And I was like a 12-year-old kid, like taking care of all these little
You were
kids.
still a kid taking care of
100%.
kids, yeah.
Yeah, también like I remember my dad was like, okay, you know, like your job's gonna be lavar la ropa de todos. Like you're gonna do the laundry for everybody. Uniforms, beekeeping suits, like leisure clothes, everything. He's like, un día vas a agradecer que tú vas a ser la que sabe lavar la ropa. Si algo te enseñas de que tienes una responsabilidad, it has to get done, and you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's your role in this house right now because lo necesitamos. Tu mami no puede hacer nada, you know, like todo. She can't do everything.
She can't, yeah.
So then that, a mí me tocaba eso. So like all those little things that you don't realize at the time. Because obviously a 12-year-old kid
At the
having
time,
to
you're
do all
like,
that, you're
ugh.
like, otra cosa.
Why?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
But now I appreciate
There was
that.
a purpose behind it.
Always.
Yeah, no, I always have that with my dad too. Like I see, like for me, my dad is the hardest working person I know
Yeah.
as well. He's a truck driver, you know,
Yeah.
so I've seen him like work his ass off,
Yeah.
like literally like not sleep, like nonstop because he has long trips and all this stuff. And like the same thing where like they instill those values in you. And like as a kid, you do kind of feel like, okay, you're being super hard on me.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, like, you're like, okay, there was a reasoning to why they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like
And you're
they
so
taught us-
thankful.
Yes, so
Yeah.
thankful. It's like you taught us firsthand, like how to work our ass off.
Yeah.
Not just be like given whatever we want.
Yeah.
You know, because I think sometimes when we are just given what we want, we don't appreciate it as much.
Yeah. And like I hate to say it, no shade to my siblings, but you probably see it too in your younger siblings that they don't take it as hard as you do, or like, you know what I mean? Because
We're really hard on ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
100%.
do you think like older siblings like us, the oldest ones,
best
we
ones?
have I mean, she said it. We have more of those like people pleasing tendencies, do you
Yeah.
think? Because
Yeah.
we have that high expectation set. Like probably since the minute number 2 was born.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I
okay,
think
you're the
not-
oldest.
Yeah. I think not only like people pleasing, but also like an expectation of other people. I'm so quick to be disappointed with people when like things are not getting done because I'm like, I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Honestly, same.
Then why are you not doing it?
Why? Yes.
Yes, and then I'm
Yes.
very quick. It's a blessing and a curse because I feel like not only am I harsh on like the people close to me, but like if they have something and I'm like, girl, you can do that better. Like, ¿por qué no lo empiezas a hacer tú sola? You know, or
Yes.
like, why don't we do it this way? Or and then it's like sometimes it's not your place to give that
Exactly.
advice, but I'm like, I see the vision. You know what I
But
mean?
you see I feel like the same. What sign are you?
Taurus.
Taurus.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a Scorpio.
Okay, my boyfriend's a Scorpio.
Oh, nice.
I
My
feel like I'm
mom's a
grounded.
Taurus.
Okay.
Yes,
good.
my mom is a Taurus. But I would say like I'm the same way. Like I'm always like pushing my friends of like,
Yeah.
well, why don't you make your own business
Yeah.
then? Like why do you rely on a company to pay you? Like you can make your own money out of it.
Yeah.
Like or you have an idea. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
What do you truly want to do? Don't just go based off what people are telling you
Yeah.
should do. It's great to hear people's advice, but at the end of the day, are you like te estás complaciendo a ti misma. You know what I mean? But I think that probably is an older sister thing then.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe, yeah, because sometimes I have my moments where I'm like, am I being a little too tough here?
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe I should take a step back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I find myself doing that pretty often. I'm very blessed, though, to be surrounded by, like, very, like, badass women, too.
Yes.
My cousins are my friends, and they're going to watch this and be like, yes. Like, no tenemos amigas. Like, we're each other's friends, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, all of them are doing their thing, like, and they're always so quick to kind of do the same thing to me, you know? If I'm, like, a little bit low, they're like, nope, let's do it this way, and this way. Read
Keep
this
your
book and
head
this book and
held
this book.
high.
Yes. They're like, let's, you know, you can do it this way. Like, no, haz esto, you know? Like, siempre hay ideas or networking or help or, like, read this, do that.
Or just knowing that someone has been there, done that
Yeah.
before. You're not, like, you're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a season.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just, like, sometimes it's crucial to have those circles to, like, keep you grounded, but also, like, motivate you in the times
100%.
where you start to get in your head.
Yeah.
Of, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
like you know, you have so much going on that you get scrambled, and sometimes you need somebody to like unwind it, you know, unbraid
Yes.
that braid and be like, no, it's all smooth. It's going to be a smooth ride, you know?
Yes. How is it like working with family? Because I've always heard a lot of people say never work with your friends or your family. I have worked with my cousin,
Okay.
but I want to know what your experience was.
It's hard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard. I think that it's been hard with my dad because he's so. What I'm telling you that I am like hard and like all this, he's times 70. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when things aren't getting done, it's like, ¿por qué no están hechas las cosas? Por esto, you know what I mean? And like, no es de contestar to give them a reason why it's not done. It's like, okay, go do it. So that's frustrating because I know what I'm doing. I think I know what I'm doing, but sometimes I don't. And like, it's, I don't know. That butting heads are like,
Are you guys alike?
yes.
Then maybe that's why. Do you think that's why? Because you
Yeah.
guys are so much alike. Because my
Yeah.
mom tells me that about me and my dad.
Yeah.
We butt heads, and it's like, no, es que tienen la misma personalidad.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys probably both have high expectations.
Yeah.
Which is such a good thing.
Yeah.
To care so much about, like, wanting to do things the right way.
That's the problem that we came across with this, that we had no idea what it took to open this. We really didn't. We thought like un cafecito lo abrimos, like it's just a coffee counter and a machine. No, girl. It's so much, like, so things that nunca me pude imaginar is like what we came across. De que get an engineer, and like there's like $11,000 there. Okay, didn't know I needed that. You know, like plumbing, electric, mechanical, all the things that you like ni siquiera sabía lo que eran esas palabras, then they came to reality. And this was my project. So like my dad was there, I guess, as an investor, let's say, or like help, but ultimately like no se metió at all. I had to do it.
He was
all
like,
of a sudden,
this is yours, que te vaya bien.
yeah.
You
Like,
know.
encuéntrate un ingeniero, encuéntrate esto, encuéntrate el otro. And I'm like, I don't know any of these people. I don't know what this means, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, asking for help, but that expectation of, like, ve hazlo. That's the hard part about, like, I would say working with family, because you don't want to disappoint them. I wanted to do it right, but also, like, stop pressuring me so much because I'm trying my best, you know?
Oh, that part.
Yeah.
Yes. Like the balance.
It's
like, where
hard.
is there a balance? And maybe we don't understand it now because we're both not parents.
Yeah.
And maybe like we'll understand it better again.
Yeah.
Like when we were little, we
Yeah.
didn't understand it, but maybe like later we'll understand it of like why they were so hard on
Yeah.
us. But I think there's beauty in like him also saying, go figure it out. I believe in you to go figure it
Yeah.
out.
No, it was. And it's so funny because like once we hit the last signature of the last engineer and then we got the certificate of occupancy, I was like, like I did it. Like he didn't do it, I did it. And then we had like a grand opening with friends and family, and girl, like yo chillando, like crying, like I couldn't stop. Toda ridícula because like all my friends and family are here and I'm like, like because it was like so overwhelming that
But it was
like
like a proud
I did
moment.
it. Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
gave a speech and he was like I didn't get involved, you know what I mean? Like she did it on her own, and that was like, yes, I did, you know, like that. it was really nice to hear it from him.
I think because we'll always be inside little girls
Yeah.
just wanting for our parents like approval
Yeah.
and for them to be proud of us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So emotional, but it's so true.
It is. It really does impact us. And I think we're always striving for that.
Yeah.
So,
And I think like too, like being like, I mean, I'm not even first gen. Like I'm still like an immigrant. You know what I mean? But like for lack of better words, like children of immigrants, like you see how hard they worked. Like you want to make them proud too.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like,
I know.
I can feel it. Yes.
know, girl.
But tell us a little bit about the process of like opening up this beautiful coffee shop. Because it, like you said, it was work, but it looks gorgeous. Like if you haven't come to check it out, what are the cross streets again?
91st and Union Hills.
And 91st and Union Hills.
Sweet
So get over
116.
here
Come
because a
get
little
some
cafecito is
coffee.
waiting for you. It's so
Yes.
beautiful. Honestly, I love the
Thank
vibes.
you.
I love that you have the honey over here of your
Thank you.
family.
Yes.
It's bottled up and ready for people to just take
Yeah.
and buy. The vibes in here are vibing. Like everything, I think you put like so much detail in every little thing, like to the lights, to the chairs, to the color scheme. Like
Thank you.
you really poured your heart into this, girl.
I did. I'm not even gonna like say I didn't. I did. It was nice. The process, getting all like the building stuff, and then like finding a good roaster, because you know we want to give quality products. So like we found a local coffee roaster, and like we chose the beans, and it's like a tasting process, right, to see like what you like. And it just happened to be that the bean I liked was 100% sourced from like Oaxaca, Mexico, single origin. So
Wow.
like we have a really good bean, we have a really good shot, and
roots back to Mexico.
and roots back to Mexico. So everything like has
Aligns.
a purpose, you
It
know?
does.
The plants, like I wanted it to feel like a garden. I wanted it to feel like a bee garden in here. Doing like we have little hives, we have the honey, we have the plants. Like if I could get a little pollinator garden in here, I would, but we can't have bees in here. But yeah, like education, I try to have pamphlets for like people to educate themselves on like benefits of honey, pollen, like all the things that you can. Then we have like a honey station to where like that's something my dad was super passionate about. We have wells, almost like frozen yogurt, like when you go to like Yogurtini.
Yes.
And like you can bring your jar from home, because we try to keep like sustainability like really important to us, right? Because not only does that help the environment, but the bees, and it all is connected. So you bring your own jar, and then we have like different types of honey, and you can fill your own jar.
Serve
And
yourself,
yeah, it's just we just sell it by the ounce, and that way it's accessible to everybody. We charge 45 cents an ounce. You can come in and just take however much you want.
Which is super reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love, and locally sourced.
Locally
Support local.
sourced, unfiltered, raw, local, all the things.
The best it gets.
The best it gets. We try not to heat the honey up too. That's a big difference. I'm going into honey education, but like with honey, the big difference between maybe something like store-bought and something that you would get from us, like as local beekeepers, is that we don't heat our honey up. So when you heat honey up, it loses a bunch of its enzymes. Therefore, it loses a bunch of its properties. People heat it up to make it shelf stable, because natural raw honey crystallizes when it's
Just
raw.
sitting. Yeah.
And then if you see a crystallized honey jar at the store, you're probably not going to get it. So therefore,
Right.
the stores try to heat it up to make it shelf stable. That, you'll come in here and you'll see a bunch of our jars that have crystallization on them already, because that's its natural state. All you do is put it outside on a hot day and it'll melt back down.
It's all good. It's how it's supposed to
good,
be.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that.
Thank you.
This, like I said, is such a beautiful place.
Thank you.
Did you go to school for business?
No.
You didn't. Because when you were talking right now about like the whole kind of mindset behind the initial idea, when you guys had to have a place to really be able to say, here's where you can get our honey. That was like a whole business model that you guys really created.
Yeah.
Like, and where does your business mentality kind of come from?
I think that just with generational, I come from a family of like entrepreneurs, everybody. Like all of my dad's family, everybody has their own business. My grandpa, everybody did. So it was almost like an expectation. I felt that. I don't think like necessarily everybody feels that, but I felt like that was the only way. Even like with like when I started my lash thing, I was 18. Didn't know what the heck I was doing, opened up a little business, and it grew into something that really like I don't know. It like me
Successful.
sirvió
Yes.
en los años que me sirvió, and
Yes.
we grew it into something, and now it's benefiting another family, you know?
So I want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
How do you know? How did you know that it was time to move on past that?
To sound shallow, I was capped out. I wasn't making any more money. Like, I hadn't made I hadn't made a good amount of, like, a difference of money in a few years, because I was fully, like, all my clients were my clients. You know what I mean? I was fully booked out.
You reached the peak.
I reached the peak, and I was already capped out on my prices. I was already a little bit more pricey than the other artists in the surprise area.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And I loved what I did. I live and breathe like the beauty industry. I'm not that social, and so I liked connecting with somebody one-on-one. I'm not like a group person.
Yeah.
So I loved what I did, but I also realized that I could have grew it into something bigger had I done it before.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that, and it's things that you regret that you didn't do, but had 2-3 years ago, had I bought a building or leased a building and made a lash salon where, like, I made it so that some other lash artists could come in and work, and we made a big environment, that would have worked to where my clients weren't just used to going to me. They would have had another person to go to, but I didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I kept it so small out of fear of, like, the payment of the building, you know, of, like, having to be there 24/7. When you have a storefront, you can't really, like, step away, you know? So I didn't, out of fear. And I wish I had, because we could have had both of them right now.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason, yeah.
Everything
Yeah,
does.
it served its purpose, and yeah. That's when I knew it was time to, like, when the idea was brought to me about the honey, I was like, okay, you know, like, let's take the risk.
Let's take the risk.
Yeah.
Taking a risk on yourself, though.
Taking a risk on yourself.
And you proved yourself you're capable of doing it. I think you're, like, such a great example of an entrepreneur. Like, and you're young. We're young.
We're young.
We're young.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
and-
doing it too, girl.
Thank you.
You're doing it too. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of us. I think little us would be proud.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
looking back.
I know.
I want to take a quick little break because we're going to get behind the counter and make Leslie's favorite drink that you can find here only at House of Honey. So we'll be right back.
This one's your decaf.
Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. Are you making yourself one?
Yes.
We'll cheers together.
Okay.
So yes, this smells so good, guys.
You're gonna love it. It's
A
my
little
favorite.
canelita. It kinda-
Especially hot too, girl.
Yes.
When it gets, like, cold, you have to come get it when it's hot.
The fall is almost here. Are you gonna have some, like, pumpkin spice flavors?
Of course,
Yes,
we
of
have
course.
to. I'm thinking of, like, this is a insider. I'm thinking of, like, honey cinnamon apple latte.
Ooh,
Doesn't that sound good?
yes.
That's, like, very fall.
And that's very uncommon.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is always on this pumpkin spice kick.
Now, are you a pumpkin girl?
I am.
Okay.
Depends on what, though. I can do, like, a pumpkin spice drink.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do, like, a chai with a pump of pumpkin spice. But I won't do, like, pumpkin pie, really. You know?
I get that.
This reminds me of, like, the smell of it is like your abuelita cooking in the la olla. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
And I want to get, like, cafe de olla for the fall. I think that would be so good.
That'd be good, yeah.
Okay.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is
Uh-huh.
so good. You guys need to come and taste this. Like, this, honestly, not even gonna lie to you, like, probably the best coffee I've had.
So good.
So good. So good. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
opening up your coffee shop to us, for being so
course.
inspiring, for being so welcoming. Like, I feel like I've known you for a long time already.
we're friends.
Right? We're
We're
friends.
besties
Yes,
now.
we're besties now. So if you guys haven't checked out House of Honey, invite everyone to come and
Yes.
stop by.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for having me. I totally appreciate it. It's really important work you're doing, and I hope you know that, and we're so appreciative of you. But yes, come stop by anytime. I'm always here. House of Honey, 91st and Union Hills, and come get a little cafecito and a pan dulce.
Where can they find you on Instagram?
House
Drop
of
the
Honey
handle.
Coffee.
House of Honey Coffee. So make sure to give a follow. And we have a little surprise for you guys because we love surprising you, right? Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for coming to the end of the episode. Because you stayed till the end, we have a little surprise, a little giveaway. Are we doing a little giveaway?
We're doing a little giveaway.
Yes, we're giving away a $50 gift card to House of Honey so you can come and taste your own coffee.
Yes.
Make sure to follow House of Honey Coffee on Instagram, Latinas Power Talk on Instagram. We're going to be posting a video highlighting the giveaway. So everyone will be entered into that drawing, and then we'll pick the winner for a $50 gift card for House of Honey.
Don't miss out on your cafecito next
Yes.
time.
Cheers, my friend. Thank you for watching. I'll see you back here next week on Wednesday. Bye.